All right, da har vi fått besøk. Vår første gjest under HLT-konferansen. Jeg er her alene, siden min makker Celine er i India. Men det går fint, for min gjest er Einike Pilli, og fra herav så skal intervjuet foregå på engelsk. Håper det går fint. So, Einike Pilli, welcome to the HLT podcast.
Thank you.
You are, maybe to some people, not that well known. So we have to get to know you before we talk about the important stuff. But so, you are from Estonia?
Yes, I'm from Estonia, and I live in the second biggest town, Tartu, which is in south.
Right. So Estonia's Bergen.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but Estonia is much more flat.
Really? Not 7 hills around?
No, almost not at all.
Is it a beautiful city?
It is a beautiful city. It has a river going through it, and it's much more peaceful than the capital.
Really? So it's the better choice. So you work as a principal in what is called the Estonian... Oh, you have to help me here.
Estonian Free Church Seminary.
Yes. So kind of like HLT, but in Estonia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very similar to HLT, actually.
Yeah.
But we have less international students because we don't teach in English much.
Right. So how big is the Estonian Free Church?
The denomination is similar to Norwegian Baptist Union.
Yeah.
We have 6,500 adult members plus children and youth, which means community is probably 10,000 members.
Yeah. And how many students do you have?
We have 77 students at the moment, though there will be a big graduation, but there will be also enrollment again, which is the ever biggest number of the school. We usually have been below 50.
Wow.
So we are very glad that the school is growing. Yeah. And recently we have had Pentecostals joining us and also a few Methodists and Lutherans. Yeah. And in our Bible school there is also one Orthodox.
Really? Nice. So you work as a principal or a rector. We say actually the same word in Norwegian, rektor. So, but before that, what is your background?
I grew up in a Christian home, and I grew up during Soviet time, which means studying theology or working in a church was very restricted. Yeah. I remember I became a believer when I was 8. And when I was 9, I wanted to go and sing in a youth choir because I love music. But then my church gathered in an old medieval cathedral in the middle of old town of Tallinn. And KGB was everywhere these days. Right. I have been born in the year 1968, so it was mid-70s. And I remember that when the youth choir was singing from the choir part where the organ was, I was allowed to sing. But when the choir was singing in front of altar, I couldn't sing because children couldn't be active in the church. And I remember when I learned about that I cannot sing in a choir. I was crying. I was so unhappy because it didn't feel fear. Yeah. But this was the time when I grew up. It was hard time. But during these years, when I was probably 9 or 10, I got a dream of studying theology. And I had no idea how it is possible. But then when the years passed, even Soviet Union became more free. Yeah. And Estonia was one of the 15 Soviet Union republics, but as it's next to Scandinavian country, it was probably the easiest country to live in compared to other Soviet Union republics. So in the second half of 1980s, we could have more contacts with the Western world and more ideas. And Estonian language is similar to Finnish. Yeah. So we watched Finnish TV and got news from Finnish TV. And I learned my Finnish, actually, from watching Finnish TV. Yeah. Therefore, the idea of studying theology was close to me while I grew up. Yeah. And And when the possibility came, Estonian Seminary, which I'm leading now, was reopened in 1989. I was one of the first students.
Really? So it was closed during Soviet era?
It was closed, yeah. It was established in 1922, then closed in 1940, and reopened in 1989. And then after that, after my studies, I worked in different places, also in a secular university, which was a good place to train myself for the seminary, because I learned a lot about academic world, publishing, teaching. I was teaching students there for years. And then when the job was offered for me to work in the seminary, I was prepared in many ways.
And now you are the head of the school? Or do you say school or university?
We say seminary,
Seminary?
But it is, formally it is applied university.
Yeah, okay. And now you're here at the HLT-konferanse, one of the main speakers at the conference. And you have just had your session, and you're having one tomorrow as well?
No, I'm leaving tonight.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. And we're going to talk about relational leadership. Mm-hmm. So, I've been told that this is your kind of expert area, or something that's close to your heart, and that's something that you're very good at. You taught one of the classes in HLT yesterday, and the teacher there was very impressed with how you what you said and how you spoke to the class. How would you describe relational leadership and the importance of it, just to start somewhere?
I don't have an official definition, but probably you won't ask for it anyway. I think leading people means working with people, loving people, choosing together the aims where to go. So the leadership, especially Christian leadership, by its character, is a relational leadership. Yeah. You need people to lead if you are a leader. Therefore, it is relational. Yeah. But as I come from the tradition of free church thinking and theology, then I interpret Bible in a way that firstly, Jesus showed us example how to be a leader. He was together with his disciples for several years, 24/7, ate together, walked together. He was teaching them, but he was also asking them questions, giving them feedback. It was very relational how Jesus did it. And then when we look further, the life of the first church in the book of Acts or in the letters of Paul, then we see that the same way continues. Leadership is more networking, more working together. It is said that the New Testament never talks about church leaders in singular. It's always like when it says church leaders, it's always what is the opposite of singular?
Plural or
plural is the word. Thank you. Yeah. It's always in plural. Yeah. And this is how Bible sees leadership.
Yeah. My impression is that relational leadership is not something that has a very high, maybe not high regard, but it's maybe undervalued in leadership philosophy or leadership teaching.
I would say that to see leadership as hierarchical is a worldly way. Yeah. Because Jesus didn't play that card. Washing his disciples' feet before he went to the cross shows us very clearly that we have to be different leaders. And he even says that not it be like that with you, how the rulers rule, that do it differently. Yeah. So I think he left us this challenge of leading people in a loving way, caring way, serving way. And when we experience hierarchical leadership in the church, I think it comes from the worldly models, business world models, where workers have seen as means of producing much as much as possible wealth to the owner of the business. Yeah. Which is far from biblical.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the biblical way requires other kinds of investments that we invest in the people around us.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do that?
I think, first of all, the person who leads people has to love people.
Yeah.
And just has to love to be with people, spend time with them, being excited about them and their growth and how they serve together in team. There are extreme introverts, but I don't think extreme introverts find it very easy to do relational leadership. I have a husband at home who is more introvert, much more introvert than I am, and he's a pastor of the church.
Mm-hmm.
And he has told me that he has learned the ways of interacting with people. It's not natural to him, but each leader has to spend time with people because the leadership in itself is not only for get something done, but also for these people with whom you do it. And I think it's American psychologist Henry Cloud who said that each person leaves two signs or two marks.
Mm-hmm.
One is the mark of result, and another is the mark of human relationships.
Yeah.
And leaders deal with both. If we have only relationships and nothing happens as a result of it, the leaders don't do good work.
Right.
But if we have only results and people are miserable in that, I even don't think we are able to get good results with miserable people. But sometimes the results can be there in certain way and people are unhappy. And I don't think it's a biblical way.
This is very exciting. Interesting to hear. In your session, you talk about something and have 3 sub points. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I could. This is a theory which I recently found, and when usually theories are complicated, this theory is possible to explain very, very easily, very shortly. Its name is difficult. It's called self-determination theory.
Yeah.
And the authors are Tetsi and Ryan.
Okay.
But the rest is easy.
Okay.
And they describe 3 basic human needs.
Yeah.
Which are prerequisites of people doing things with motivation, with intrinsic or inner motivation.
Okay.
Where they feel they want to do it. It gives them well-being. It gives them excitement. It gives them joy. And these 3 basic human needs are important for them to experience joy and excitement and happiness in what they are doing. And these needs are called relatedness, being connected to other people and feeling that they can be themselves, being part of the bigger group. Then the second one is called autonomy, and this means that that they can have freedom of thought, they can have their own opinions, they can have their own views, and they are not forced to think like other people do.
Right.
But in an interesting way, relatedness and autonomy are connected because if autonomy is the only thing, people can go astray, especially in the church. If somebody gets all thinking the church body there has to be also in the best way, the controlling body, how far the autonomous thought can go so that it would be still a Christian thinking. Yeah,
so some boundaries.
Yeah, some boundaries and some...
direction?
Direction, and we, in a difficult term, we call it collective hermeneutics, which means we need to interpret the Bible together.
Yeah.
If somebody says, oh, I have a revelation from God, I know how things should be, and nobody else think in the same way, there are two possibilities. The person has prophetic message, or he's a fool. Yeah. And I guess in most cases the person is a fool. There are probably moments when God gives something to a person. I believe that if God wants a fresh message to come through, he gives it to more than one people. Yeah. he gives it to, not maybe always to everybody, but at least to 2 or 3 people.
Yeah. Seems smart.
It just happened to me while coming here today that we have a project and we have some project money with HLT. And and we have some money left, but it's a tiny sum of money what we have left.
Yeah.
Less than 400 euros. So I was thinking what to do with that. And there was a guy who came to me, whom I know, a friend of mine, said, Einike, I think I come to Estonia this May. And I said, oh, I have some spare money. Would you like to spend it? And he said, yes, I'm very happy to spend the money. So it means that sometimes when God talks to people, he talks to 2 different people. And when they talk to each other, they understand that God has given them the same understanding what has to happen.
Yeah.
And this is always so great when it happens.
Yeah. Great example. Cool. Okay, that was 2.
2, and then there is
third?
the third one, which is called competence.
Yep.
And this means that all of us want to get better.
Yeah.
When we are children or when we follow children, we see how they are so natural in learning new things, trying out new things. But very often in our life, when the joy disappears from the life, also the willingness to learn and experience new things is diminishing as well. So that's in Ryan said that our inborn, or we would say created need for getting more competent needs to be fulfilled. We need new things, new knowledge, getting better. We need those environments which inspire us to get better. And we need also those leaders who give us feedback and show us where we are good and how we could get better.
How can we create this environment where all these things happen in the best way? And I guess for a lot of people that are listening to this podcast, it's the church that is the natural area of imagining this happening. So but it's also relevant for every person working in a workplace where there's more than one person present. So I guess for most people anywhere, how do you create such an environment where this can happen?
I would mention some things. First, I think we need time together.
Yeah.
We need time which is not work time.
Yeah.
Which is not worship time either. We need time which is not structured, where we can just spend time together. I think church coffee is a brilliant place for that. Picnics, trips to other places, or just going for a walk or going for out in the evening and just taking time.
Yeah.
Then part of that taking time is listening well. Listening well to each other is important. I just read the book by Patrick Lencioni called The Advantage.
Yeah.
And he says that the teams cannot be very big because then we don't have time to ask each other questions and listen to each other. So the team has to be small enough so that we have time for each other.
Yeah.
And we have energy to listen. Because you can imagine if there are 20 people in the room and everybody wants to have their voice heard, there is no willingness to listen to others because everybody is so busy and there is not enough time.
Yeah.
So smaller groups, time for each other, listening well. And then also, when I said we need not structured time, from another side, we need structure of how we work. Because without decent structure, it is very difficult to develop competence because we don't know what is expected of us. And also the relatedness needs some organization. There are spontaneous relations as well.
Yeah.
But if we want to relate people to fulfill certain tasks or do something together, we need structure for that as well.
So, but doing these things to each other, it requires that leaders and teams spend time together, not doing stuff that feels super effective, So kind of waste time together.
Mm-hmm.
And also it requires a leader to be vulnerable and maybe humble themselves to get to know a person on a deeper level.
Yeah.
But isn't that ineffective use of time?
In the end, it is actually effective. Like many things which seem to be ineffective in the beginning are effective in the end. For example, thing we discussed today with one person in the hall, in the conference hall, is that if we invest into delegating things into others, it feels like spending time. In the end, we win time.
Yeah.
So things are contra-logical sometimes, but these are important things to do. Especially because I think when we build trust, and trust is a very, very important part of good teamwork, building trust takes time, and building trust takes what you mentioned, vulnerability. Yeah. And leaders have to start. And in the churches, preachers have to be vulnerable. Yeah. Pastors have to be vulnerable. Small group leaders have to be vulnerable.
Can you give an example of what vulnerability can look like? What do you mean by saying that?
I bring maybe a quite extreme example.
Okay.
But if there has been a tension in the church, and we are people, we get tension.
Of course.
And when the tension has touched the leader, then for me, the vulnerable leader would say how he has felt in this tension. Yeah. Even say that I have been hurt. It has been unfair for me. So that people would realize that the leader is a human being as well. And they have easier time to say when they have been hurt. Yeah. Or how they have experienced certain things. Because very often when the leader is, at least looks almost perfect, it's difficult for the members of the team or the church or the group to be not perfect. Yeah. And when the leader opens this door, it's easier for others to come in and say, I have some problems by myself. Yeah. And I have seen it in my own team. Yeah. I have a younger woman who struggles with anxiety, and I'm not glad because she struggles with that, but I'm glad that she's able to share it. Like she could share it not only with me, but in a small team meeting, saying that I have had hard time with my anxiety. This is why some of my tasks have not done as well because this slows me down. Yeah. And we all understand her when she says that. And it helps to work together. And it also builds the trust among the team members. Yeah.
But a part of this is then to be vulnerable, you say, and that creates kind of a culture of honesty, which in time also makes it easier to be upfront and honest about what you think, both when things are good and things are bad. And it creates a trust environment where you can go further and stronger with your team. That's what you say?
Yeah, but at the same time I say it's not that easy always. Yeah. Especially in a bigger groups like a church. Yeah. There are things which I don't share with my church members because I'm not sure whether they understand. I come from a quite big church, and I'm a pastor's wife. Yeah. So there are things which I do share, and there are things where I think maybe it's easier if they don't share because they might not understand because my life is different. Yeah. For example, my life involves quite a lot of traveling. Traveling usually opens us up to understand different ways of being, different cultures, also different understanding of certain things in the Bible. But if those people who stay in the environment all the time and have certainty that their view is the only right view, sometimes it's easier not to go into this discussion. But at the same time, we never have that kind of proximity and trust with these people as well. So even if we belong into this kind of churches, we need to have a smaller group of friends with whom we share and can be ourselves and ask questions which are important to us and be vulnerable as well.
So, sorry. Doing this in a smaller team is obviously easier than in a big church or a big congregation, as you say. So how do you transfer these habits or this culture of doing things in your team, in your leadership team, to something that becomes natural throughout the organization, through the other levels of leadership?
This is a good question, because when I have tried to explain my role, my vision as a seminar leader, which serves the whole Baptist and Free Church Union and also other churches, my partly secret aim is to create such an organizational culture which they then get kind of soaked in, so that this will share. This will divide, this will multiply through them to the churches they serve. So they take it together with them when they go. But they need enough time to experience it, to feel that this is the culture they'd like to live out. And when they are there for 4 years or 3 years, coming every month for a few days, I really hope that it will multiply through people who have experienced it. And of course we can teach it, but I believe that we more experience it than we talk about it.
And that is one of the big challenges as leaders, maybe, to talk about it is something, but to show it and to live it is something different, and to multiply it into others is even more challenging. But what do you think is the recognizable features of a church that does leadership and team building and team culture in this way, as you speak, compared to a church that doesn't do that?
Hard to say, because I think it depends on the size of the church. Smaller churches do it more easily. And the bigger churches, there are smaller groups who do it more easily. That is maybe,
does this become a barrier of growth, like a growth barrier, where it's easier to do it in a smaller setting, but when you grow, you can lose some of this small dynamic stuff that's...
It certainly does. I think any organization which is growing has to adopt new methods of working. You cannot be the same kind of community with 100 people than you are with 10 people. So it takes leadership. And here the leadership comes into the game, because these things don't happen anymore spontaneously. But you need to create a structure. The classical way is that the bigger churches create a small group culture. But there are also other ways. There are teams of leadership, like there's a choir or orchestra or a worship team or Sunday school team, or these form these smaller communities as well. And if these are making effort to have time with each other in addition to doing the job, then it is very, very valuable. I believe these days, when using the words of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who died in the end of Second World War, the world has become to an age, which means the people don't like anymore to be told what to do. This is the concept of autonomy as well. If we forget taking them seriously and want them just to come and accept the Christian message and be like us, I don't think this works anymore. Maybe it worked in the past, at least better than now, but people should feel that they are valued by themselves, and I believe God values us because who we are, and they are listened to, they are valued to, and then they feel that the message of Christianity also touches them in a new way. And one thing I'd like to do is to take the same theory and think it through from the point of view of doing missions, because I think we offer relatedness. We say, come and become part of us. But sometimes this relatedness happens at the cost of autonomy. That people might feel like, but I don't want to become like you. I want to be myself. Even though I like to be part of the community, but is there room for my personality?
One of the things that we haven't talked about is the shadow sides of leadership, and dealing with relations. Things may, of course, go wrong, and people may misuse their power. How do you read that into what we have already thought about and talked about? And what is the important things to remember to do and to make sure that to avoid that there are misuse or people that use their power in a manipulative way or a bad way. Yeah, that was a lot of a complex question. Sorry.
I tried to remember. I think when we have team leadership, this is the first place. We are accountable to each other. If somebody sees someone doing something that is not in tune of how the Bible teaches about leadership, I think there has to be room to correct each other. And this is also a question of trust. If I see somebody doing something wrong, can I go and tell the person? And I hope if I do something wrong, people can come and tell me without feeling that I will be very offended or something like that. We just came through Easter, and this Easter I played in a church orchestra. And I play flute, but I don't play well because my main job is being a rector, and also my main service in the church is more preaching than playing the flute. But I like to do it occasionally. So we were in the middle of the rehearsal, and somebody said to me, Einike, your flute is out of tune. And I had heard it by myself as well, and it was such a good experience how they helped me to tune my instrument to play well together with others. And then after a while, the conductor helped the younger violin players to get the violins to be tuned in a right way. I think it's a beautiful picture what we in the church should do. When we hear or see that somebody is out of tune, we should be able to tell. To tell and help each other, because we can't play a nice harmony if somebody is out of tune in the so-called orchestra. But another thing I think is that the misuse of power can often happen when people lose the strong relationship with Jesus. Because when we come to Jesus in prayer, it keeps us in the right attitude. So we have been talking a lot about relatedness between people, but I think we can't do Christian leadership well without strong relationship with Jesus. Because if we really listen to the voice of Holy Spirit, it does correct us even better than our team members or leaders or followers, because there are things in our motives, things in our thoughts, which are never visible, but what can ruin the work of God. And I have started using the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, be merciful to me. And sometimes when I feel like I'm not well tuned, there are elements of what is not right, I pray this prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, be merciful to me, because I feel I need to be tuned again in my relationship with God. Therefore, I guess that when we want to avoid all kinds of misuses of power, we need good relationship with Jesus, a strong one, very good listening of the voice of Holy Spirit, and we need a good relationship with our close team members and ability to not only listen to them, but take seriously.
Yeah.
I just recently heard a story when there was difficulty in one church. And the difficulty wasn't because nobody was bad, but people had different understandings how the church should be done. But then one group just refused to listen. And if one group doesn't listen well, the other group feels, I'm not taken seriously here. And they are not feeling that they are at home, or they are valued, or they are motivated, because they are not taken seriously. And I don't mean that all kind of losing of temper or signs of pride or greed or whatever. There are all kind of human bad things have to be taken all the time seriously.
Yeah.
But if there is a big and serious question up, I think we should be humble enough to listen, even if we don't share this opinion. And if we do that, I believe that we can avoid bad mistakes in leadership.
That sounded like pure wisdom. If there are any young people listening to the podcast, if you want to give them some advice early on in their leadership journey, and how to develop themselves as good leaders, and how to become good leaders, what would be your advice?
I would say start from building a strong relationship with God. This is where everything is based on. Take time for prayer, take time for learning, take time for learning the Bible, but also learning the society around you. And take time to learn to know yourself. Because God has given us, all of us, a very unique calling and unique set of gifts, which we often don't know when we are younger.
Yeah.
And we learn to know our gifts when we start serving others with small steps. I remember I was a little younger than now, and I had a question, God, what is my passion?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the passion is like a spine which focuses us well to understand also what jobs should we take, what services should we do, because those people who have courage and some people are really talented, they can do many, many things. But God has given us unique calling. So it's good to walk and struggle with the question, God, what is the passion you have given to me? What passion you want me to follow? And what gifts are there to fulfill this passion? And I remember we do pilgrimages every summer. I walked with a group of people and I asked, God, show me my passion. And it was the third day only when I finally heard that and realized that my passion is to bring people together, to create environments of like a paradise-like environments. And when we put together with this self-determination theory, I think they say in a secular way the same thing, that there are environments where we feel that we flourish, we enjoy, we grow, and we also feel the excitement of serving God and people. And this is my passion.
Yeah.
But young people who listen to it, and maybe some older people as well, we each need to find our passion and then act on it and try out how does it work to follow that passion which God has given to us. And we certainly, I'm very deeply certain, we feel deep joy in doing that.
I think that's a great way of ending this conversation. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode, for being a guest here and speaking at the conference. If anyone wants to read some of the books that you've been talking about, I'm going to link them in the episode description. Do you have something you want to recommend or share before we say goodbye?
I would say that the books of Patrick Lencioni, for those who are in the leadership already, are very, very helpful. His book Advantage, but he has another books as well. He's a Catholic author, but has a very good, deep wisdom based on research. But I would say also to read the Gospels with the eyes of how did Jesus lead his disciples. I'm sure there are fresh ways what we can find out when we read the Bibles asking that question. And thank you very much for great discussion. I have enjoyed being part of it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.